Hey guys, welcome to my channel Data Structures Hack. In this particular channel, we are majorly focusing on data structures that can be pictorially represented. And also, we are going to solve problems which are related to the previously covered data structures and how it can be solved pictorially. And let's dive into linked list as the first data structure that is being covered in this video. Okay, so what is linked list? Linked list is not a contiguous block. Unlike array, you do not need to predefine how many elements you're gonna put into the list. What else? Also, they are elements that are linked to the next element using a pointer. So let's start and see how it can be pictorially represented. So initially, when we have just defined the list, we are going to have something called as the head pointer, which usually points to the first element of the list. But if we do not have a first element, what is the head pointer going to point to? It is going to point to null. So it is, since we haven't added any elements into the list, it's pointing to null. Okay, so for now, for example, we want to add 2 into the list. What happens? We remove the null out of there and we make sure that the head is pointing to 2. Later, what is 2 gonna point to? Since there are no more elements in the list yet, 2 is gonna point to null. So this is how it's gonna look initially. And then if I wanna add one more element, probably 6, I'm using the same colored cards to show that it is all of the same type. So 2 is already pointing to null. So I'm going to move the null away and I'm going to show you how it's going to. 2 is now going to start pointing to 6 and 6 is pointing to null. So it is always like this. I'm sorry. I should have pointed it out, but I didn't. But yeah, so this is how it is going to work. And if I have one more element to be inserted into the list, say for example 4. I'm going to put it on the null so that I'm showing you that it's being inserted. So how can that be inserted? All we need is to refer a pointer from 6 to 4 and the 4 is going to start pointing to null and I'm going to refer 1 to here to 4. So now if I want to remove or delete a element from the list, I can basically say, okay, I want to remove 6 from the list. How do I do it? So what is the procedure to do that? So I always know head is the starting of the list. So I'm going to come check head. Head is not pointing to null. So I know the list is not empty and I come and check the first element and the first element is not equal to 6. So I'm going to go to the next element that 2 is pointing to and I find 6 here. So what is going to happen now? So it is simply gonna 2 is simply gonna change its reference to whatever 6 was pointing to. So it is 4 and I have removed 6 and the pointer is gone and this part will continue to point to null. Like 4 is still going to continue pointing to null, but it is only like 2 is now going to point to 4 and like we have removed 6 from here. And there are chances when you want to also remove the first element from the list. And what is going to happen? When you remove the first element from the list, head is directly going to go ahead and start pointing to 4 instead. So this pointer is not going to exist anymore and it's directly going to be a pointer, like head is directly pointing to 4. So this is how it happens. And there are also situations when you can remove from n, but for that I'll have to like insert another value so that it's easier to understand. Yeah, so now we have this and we have this being pointed to 4 and 4 was pointing to null. Like if we want to like delete the last element, so we keep going and we see whether the next is equal to null. If it is, then we'll just like remove this particular pointer and this one, and we point that to null directly. So this is how single linked list works. I'll go on with circular linked list, double linked list in my next videos, so stay tuned. And this is the Java class of linked list. Thank you so much for taking time and watching this video. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you.